Welcome to Inspiring Insurance. Our goal is to provide value to the insurance industry through real-life experiences from insurance professionals who have walked the walk. You can expect to hear story sharing, top tips, and practical advice to help you grow and succeed in your career. We hope you enjoy this episode's guest. Welcome back to Inspiring Insurance. This week we are back in Brisbane and I am joined by Director of Morgan Insurance Brokers and Morgan Life, Lauren Spice. Thanks for joining me today, Lauren.
Yay, thanks.
Well, we're going to go through your story this morning. Really excited to have you share with the wider insurance community. Before we get going on that, I do want to touch on a couple of things. I saw something on LinkedIn recently. It was around your career goals. There were two things that really stuck out to me. Career aspiration number one, you wanted to be a dinosaur. Career aspiration number two, you wanted to be a puppy dog. How did that go for you?
Well, I'm neither, so it's been a poor outlook on life, unfortunately. If I could be a golden retriever, I'd be a golden retriever. If I had to be a dog, it would be golden retriever.
Excellent, good choice. Well, let's talk about your insurance career. So, can you walk us? Let's go all the way back to the beginning of when you got into insurance. How did you fall in the industry? And then let's go through your journey.
Oh, okay. So I was originally living in Ipswich and working at McDonald's. I think that's pretty common. A lot of teenagers working in, Macca's, Pizza Hut, all of those. Then thought, oh, you know what I would like to do? I would like to live at the beach. So then pretty much just looked online and saw that there was a few jobs going. One was like real estate. Another one was, admin and insurance brokerage. So I applied to both, went to both interviews. The first interview with the real estate agent, I was wearing like a white dress and I actually spilt coffee down the white dress right before the interview. So I was pretty nervous and embarrassed. So don't think that worked out really well. And then the other interview was insurance broking. So easy to get into if you're really cheap back then. I think the weekly wage was like $350 a week for full-time hours. So that's pretty good. So got into that and then worked there for a couple of years. Nothing too exciting to share there, just junior admin role kind of thing. Learned how brokerages do it, the style of particular brokerages, really boring stuff, to be honest. And then I went to another insurance brokerage, which was a more online business, very fast paced, really young, dynamic, like, 20-year-olds working there. So that was pretty fun for a little bit. And then really got into the industry and like insurance around that time. Then jumped from there. So there was a little bit of job hopping, only because I'm still like young, trying to find my feet, working with other young people. Sometimes it can mix, sometimes it doesn't work. So went to another insurance brokerage, and I think I was the only one there. So it was the two directors. One, they did general insurance and trade credit. And then I was the only one. So I was the account manager there, and kind of because they were a startup, I started to learn everything that they were doing. So like everything that was involved with a startup, which I guess now looking back has helped me when I started Morgan Insurance. So that was pretty good. Worked there. Then they were deciding that they were going to sell. So they sold, and in preparation for them selling, they kind of gave me like a little heads up, a couple of years prior, like, hey, our long-term goal isn't this. So, which I can understand sometimes, like insurance is pretty intense. It's not for the faint-hearted, I guess. So they gave me the heads up, hey, we might be looking to sell. So I was like, oh, I don't really want to work with another brokerage again. Like as a young woman, I didn't want to have to try and like prove myself again and be, like work my way up and say, hey, look at me, and then work really long hours. And yeah, just didn't want to do that again. So thought I would go out and I would start my own book. I was networking after work at my general manager role down on the Gold Coast. So that was pretty intense as well. So, you know, driving in Gold Coast traffic for 45 minutes every morning, and they're getting to work, working pretty intense role, and then driving home, and then driving to Brisbane after working at the Gold Coast, and then going to like networking meetings 3 or 4 times a week. So really doing it the hard way. So any advice that I could give to anyone starting out that really wants to do it is, well, we're in the age of tech and being online. So, yeah. But then again, in saying that, the value of meeting face to face and like, you know, face to face connections is probably going to be, definitely going to be more valuable than being online. But in saying that again, you can meet people originally online and then, you know, build the trust and go and meet them face to face. So the connections could spark from an online relationship, but then grow being face to face. So now where was I going with this? Was networking, build a small book. I think I got to, oh, hang on, sorry. I think I got to about, no, I don't know, enough to support my wage that I could go out and be like, all right, I'll say goodbye to my 9 to 5 job there, and I will run my own book. So that was pretty cool for the first year, because it's like, oh, it's not too many clients. You can do it yourself. It's long hours, but you know, you kind of get that sense of, cool, I'm my own boss. I can do my own thing. And then it starts to, word gets out, you know, you put your website up, traffic starts coming in, and you're like riding this massive wave, like, oh, this is awesome. Heaps of leads, heaps of clients, like adrenaline pumping, dopamine when every new lead comes through. It was freaking awesome. But then you actually have to really work. So you have to do everything until you can start affording more staff. So yeah, anyways, that's the really compressed version of what's happening. And then obviously, yeah, started Morgan Life because of the demand of the crossovers.
Sure.
So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at today.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. So Morgan Insurance Brokers was born about 6, 7 years ago, and you said it really, really took off in the last 3. What do you think contributed to the boom in the last 3 years? Because I'm assuming that that's when you said you had to really, really work. So what?
You know, in a book of 100 clients, and it's just really, really cute, nice, can work. Yeah, and you can choose your hours and no alarm clock and no midnight. Yeah. But then once it gets to really picking up like that, what was that from? Word of mouth, lots of referrals, a really strong online presence, heaps of Google reviews. I think really, you know, people can come to me and they say, oh, you know, you got 400 or 500 5-star Google reviews. Awesome. Here's my business. Literally, sometimes it's as easy as that. So you're getting a lot of demand for your services, which is really awesome. So other than that, so I'd say word of mouth, being around for a long time, networking, referral, online presence. Yeah. Really starts to pick up.
Yeah, and you have a really, really strong online presence, and particularly on LinkedIn. And I really love that there's definitely a sense of humor in a lot of the posts that you put out there, and I really, really love reading them sometimes. Why do you think that's so important, or how do you think that's helped shape your business where it is these days?
Yeah, so I don't need leads at this point. Like, we've got plenty and overflow to sustain the business. I'm actually nervous about where the whole industry is going. So like with AI and everything like that, it makes me a bit nervous. So there's regulatory changes, you know, like asking for consent, all the AI stuff that gets populated everywhere. I don't know, the rise of more online insurance service providers, comparison sites. And then you go on LinkedIn, and then I tried a different way of advertising, which was not really advertising, it was more like brand building. So I did my LinkedIn company page and was posting on there, and still posting on there, every single day almost, just to kind of trial like what engagement I'd get, who would come that way, and it was zero. So like 5 months of posting on the company LinkedIn profile, zip. Okay, the outbound engagement on it, probably not there. Like I really should have put more time into engaging with people from that company page. But realistically, people are not buying from companies. They really are buying, well, not buying insurance, but trusted advisors. It's the person. It's not the logo. It's not the brand. So I thought, with everything going on, I think I just want to just try something a bit different. Not for the leads, but just for like brand building and seeing what other opportunities could come from that.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is really off track with the answers here. So what was the question? The question was, why important? Yeah, okay, cool. So LinkedIn important. Oh, okay, so yeah, because if you go on there, you see that everyone has a lot of AI in their posts, and obviously there's some things that you can see that spots it, and it is coming very like copy paste, rinse and repeat, not authentic. It's all the same. If you could put into AI, the topic of their post, I'm sure it would spit out exactly what they've said. So I just think having a bit of fun with it is just, it's fun.
Yeah, so keeping it authentic.
Yeah, just like, hey, I'm a real person. I'm not AI, down to earth. I don't want to sell you anything. I'm just here to connect and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, love it. And do you think from having that approach to personal branding, has it generated you more leads because you've kind of used that as your strategy?
Yeah, so it wasn't for massive lead building because I've got enough leads, but it was more like a trial and see what would come from doing it like this. So as the LinkedIn company page was like running pretty hot for about 5 or 6 months, and it's still going. I think it's good for brand awareness that if someone Googles us or whatever, finds us online, and there's an active Instagram, an active Facebook, an active LinkedIn where the company's posting, I think that that's good for, credibility. But it's a lead generation tool, definitely not. So anyone trying to do that, don't waste your time, essentially. Others could say different, but it's just, that's the strategy. It just hasn't worked for me. So the personal branding thing is relatively new. Yeah, so in the last 2 weeks, I've got another insurance broker referring me the little stuff that they don't want to do because they target bigger accounts, which is fine because I will do anything. I will take anything that comes my way. Won't say no. So one referral partner that was another insurance broker, another was a buyer's agency that referred his clients over he was high net wealth, and he had like 6 or 7 properties. And potentially 2 more mortgage broker referral partners. And that's in the space of like a week and a half without really pushing it. So I think it works if that's the route that you're going to do. I think, personal branding over company marketing might be the way to go.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's a lot of research out there that backs that people buy from people that don't buy from companies. So I think you're bang on in that regard. How do you come up with your content then? Because you want to keep it authentic. There's obviously a bit of humor in there. Do you have a strategy behind your content, or where does that come from?
So no strategy. So I follow heaps of people on there that have the strategies, post to the people that you want to engage with, things. But no, there's no strategy. It's kind of, that's kind of funny. Let's post that. So, but it doesn't come from, I'm not ripping anyone off. I'm not using any tools or anything like that. It's really just, that's funny. I'm going to post that. I'm going to see what happens. And then that's it. And then come back to it. So, I've been connecting with a lot of other insurance brokers, which is, I think, really important as well, like other people in the industry, not just your target clients as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Okay. And so the business has been up and running for 6 to 7 years now. You've got the Morgan Life side of the business as well, which you said you have a business partner that handles all of that side of the
Yeah,
business. Yep.
yeah.
Is it just the two of you?
Oh, for Morgan Life, yeah, it is just for
Yep.
the two. But we've got 4 or 5 senior brokers
Mhm.
doing um the general insurance side, so home, motor, landlord, all that kind of stuff. So public liability business.
Yeah, amazing. And does the business specialize in a certain product or target certain industries or occupations?
Really specific to the actual broker rather than the business. So as a
Yeah.
business, take on anything that comes through. But me, myself, I like construction. I
Yep.
really like construction clients. They're really fun to talk to and play around with and joke with. So that's probably my target.
Mhm.
There's another lady in our office, and her name's Morgan. um, but she likes like childcare. It's really hard to place risks. So things childcare is not hard to place, but childcare and then other hard to place risks. So that's good. So Morgan, she started with us maybe like a year ago, and it's quite funny because Morgan Insurance Brokers, they think that she owns it. But it was more just, she saw it online, the advertisement, and thought, must be a sign. So, so Morgan from Morgan Insurance Brokers works with us. Yeah, she's great. So that's good.
Yeah, excellent. And so anyone who might be new to the industry then, so you're thinking about a junior broker, entry level processing person, they look at your career and they say, how do I take myself from being an assistant account executive to a business owner, managing a team with, a co-director, 5 senior brokers under me? How do they go from A to Z?
Well, if they want to do that, that's the that's that's the first question. You can probably say goodbye to about 3 years worth of your life. If that's what you want to do, which well, what I realized is that's not what everyone wants to do. A lot of people, especially with like job security and stuff like that, people are happy to just go to work and finish up at 5 and clock off at 5. It takes, yeah, I think there's certain personalities that really to become or everything that you've just said, yeah, you really got to want it. The question that you said was, how do I take myself there? I think having a network is good. I
Hmm,
think having sales skills is probably good. You could have 100 leads a month come through, and if you don't know how to talk to clients and you're a bit of a goldfish when it comes to that, then it's not going to make a difference. You can get all the leads, but if you don't have systems in place, if you don't have good communication skills, then it's really no point. So,
sure.
um, but yeah, my path is pretty easy. It's just being consistent. It's
Yeah.
just saying yes to everything and getting heaps of exposure on all different types of insurances. And if I hadn't done it before, then it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. And yeah, it's worked well. Good.
Yeah, great. Have you had any roadblocks or like major obstacles that you've had to overcome along the journey?
Kids. Yeah, kids.
Kids.
Yeah, kids. So I was working in the hospital for both children, having both children, and that was like I had to. And I remember my mother-in-law. She was there when I was in the hospital for one of them, and I was like, a call's coming through, and like I've got to take it. And she's like, don't take that call. Do not take that call because the pain medicine that they gave me post was pretty intense. So I was a bit loopy. But yeah, I think having kids is good for business because it can actually just readjust your perspective. So I think prior to that, little things that would go wrong, like really minor things that would happen with a client, like, oh, my funding got cancelled, or yeah, something really small and inconvenient, like, oh, I haven't. Ugh, I'm just trying to think of something really small and inconvenient, like I don't know, a small stressor, a small
Sure.
stressor that would happen. Um, I would used to be like, oh my God, and like fret over it and panic and, ruminate over it for days. And
Mm,
then I think once you have kids, you're like, Well, I'm alive, they're alive.
Yes.
Everything's going to be okay, get over it. So I think it builds a lot of resilience, which is needed in insurance and needed when you're running, or you got a lot of stuff going on in business. So.
For sure. And is there anything that you do to make sure you maintain like quite a healthy work-life balance for your family?
Not for those first like 2 years now. It was really, let's just see what happens and, kind of adjust as you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of pressure, a lot of, I don't know, I think having a supportive partner, husband, wife, whatever, that's probably what you need as well. So if you've got to pull those extra hours, you've got to do it, and hopefully your partner is fine with that. So, what was your question again?
How do you maintain the healthy like work-life balance?
Okay, yeah, so you don't. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, and if you can, you're very lucky. It just depends. Like my goal was to scale as quickly as I could, but obviously not. I didn't want to lose clients. I wanted to be like really personable, but I've still got a goal to be big. But yeah, so dealing with customer expectations, family expectations. So, but now I'm on the other side of that now, so it's okay. So it's pretty easy to say, oh yeah, I wake up and I meditate and I go to the gym and I don't take calls after 5. Cool. This doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's work is 24/7, and you have to answer every call because it's you need money to live.
Yeah.
But once you're on the other side of that, now I'm like, oh, I do go to the gym every day, and I go to the swimming lessons every other day, and the gymnastics classes every other day, and can have lunch and sit down and not, stress how many missed calls I've got. So, but yeah, in hindsight, yeah, it's easy to say, but in reality, yeah, your life's pretty intense and messed up for that little bit. So.
Sure, sure. And you do seem very entrepreneurship, and that you want to, continue the growth trajectory that you've been on. What's next for the business?
I don't know. I guess well, I do know. I've always wanted to have my own AFSL. I don't know how that would just yet. I don't think I'm ready to pull that trigger yet, but maybe year. I do like what CBN and Oshaw. I love how they're really they really focus on their ARs and the on the Oshaw have like camping trips and stuff with their ARs, and like CBN has award nights. Really cool. I would aspire to do something like that one day. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Like, I think this is very, very inspiring. There's a lot to learn from this. Some really, really great tips around building a personal brand and an online presence. I think there's some really, really great takeaways from there. So thank you for sharing. Really great to chat to you, and yeah, really wish you all the best with your business, and thanks for being a guest.
Thanks, no dramas. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.